Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lost in Translation on episode 12. This week, we watched Forget About It
Forget about it. Or the whispering small devil Pico Devimon.
and Where Garurumon's Diner.
Or Oh Friend, Where Garurumon. What a title.
All right, so first of all, for Postmon Pat, we have a few comments. We
Or
have Anonymon on Tumblr that says, I feel like the reveal of Skull Greymon being the incorrect evolution served one purpose that not knowing wouldn't have. The evolution was actually the fault of Tai for doing things wrong instead of just how things were going to be, putting the burden on him instead of on fate or what have you until they realized otherwise. I agree it could have been done much better though. See, I kind of would have liked to see other dark evolutions, but I think that would have just been like, another 10 episodes of doing it wrong. But it would have been interesting. But I did like, um, you know, Taichi, he screwed up. He did a bad thing and he takes like the fault for it and he's quite apologetic, but he realizes that his actions were stupid.
I guess the problem with it is that it doesn't accomplish much. Like, yeah, it's a whole different facet that's kind of brought to light. But I mean, on one hand, it's a big deal. Oh, you can evolve wrong. That's a problem. But I don't get the feeling it's ever going to come up again. And I don't know. Maybe Skullgrammer will come back. There's a whole character design they'd just be throwing out otherwise. But really, like, none of the kids are going to screw up now because they've learned their lesson, right? And all in all, the episode and the entire concept feels like it's been wasted. And you say it in your letter, it could have been done better, and could have been done a lot better. And when you have a 54 episode series, I guess you're pressed for to put stuff into it. But to that, I would say you didn't need a 54 episode series.
Like, I do think it's quite important because we do see some character development. Like, he's so sure that he has to save everyone. He's the only one with his crest. He has to do this. And, it's important to know that you can't just force your Digimon to evolve. It has to be a natural thing. So it shows, otherwise we don't know. It could just be, oh, if I jump off a cliff, my Digimon will evolve and rescue me somehow. It's a way of like, you can't just force things, it has to happen naturally.
True, but you could have had you could have come to the same conclusion just by evolving being something mysterious. You go, I can't figure it out. We've been in these situations, and then it'll come to pass that it needs to be relevant to your crest, I guess. That
It also
seems
has to be genuine because what Ty did, I guess, was relevant to his crest. He did jump in front of the other Greymon to try and put him in danger. So I guess that's sort of relevant to his crest, but it didn't activate it because it wasn't genuine. It wasn't his feelings inside him reacting to it. It was just him wanting to Greymon to evolve.
okay, yeah. Because I'm trying to think like what's the big difference between him fighting Edamon and him fighting Greymon? It's okay, it was the basic I want you to evolve versus I want to beat the enemy. I mean,
Yeah, it's
they're
I want
they're
to.
very similar.
Yeah, but it's like I want to protect my friends. I want to save my friend instead of, I want to be the first one to evolve because I want to be. But like it seemed more selfish the way they wanted to be the first one. He didn't want to be the first one just to save his friends. I mean, he said he did, but I think that it was also he wanted to be better than other people.
Maybe. I mean, I guess you know what? He gets it anyway because as the only person with the dark evolution and as the kind of main character, he gets extra screen time and extra stuff going on.
Yeah, like this arc was basically his own arc. Like it started with the Pugmon episode where you're in the Koramon's village, which is, already it's Agumon's in training level. And then we finish it with Ty's home. So it's pretty much a Ty arc.
And that's exactly what we always needed.
And it ties together all the loose ends. Get it? Ty, that's his name.
No.
Anyway, so our next comment is from Chuckmon on the With the Will forum, and they said about how hilarious it is that Edamon's antics got old for Jay so quickly. Like, you liked him at first and then stopped.
Well, you see, I really like effective villains, and if he's wacky and fun at the same time, then it's okay. But he's a joke. There's nothing about him. Like, I go, okay, look, it's Elvis. That's funny. And in his very first appearance, he's very effective. He shows up, he beats the crap out of the kids, and they barely escape. Right? His
Yep.
power is your Digimon can't evolve. That's awesome. Like he just instant wins all fights that way. That'd be cool. And he's powerful. And then every episode from them is him in a trailer going, I don't know where they are. My computer network's down. Somebody bang on the computer so I can find the kids. There's a robot who isn't obeying me. Why would I trust this robot to look after my servers when I beat the shit out of it?
Well, he was only a bad guy for what, less than 10 episodes?
Wait,
Like,
Edamon?
yeah, Edamon,
What do
that's
you mean?
like,
The Devimon was about the same.
yeah, he was a bad guy for about 11 episodes, and Edamon was a bad guy for about 10, I think.
Oh, well, it's a huge difference. That one episode that makes you a real bad guy.
I mean, we saw more of Edamon than we did see of Devimon, because we didn't see Devimon in the first, like,
Yeah, a bunch of
7
episodes.
episodes. So, even though he was the bad guy, we didn't actually see him until, the last few episodes, and then he died. So, I guess in that way, Edamon's a lot, like, was there longer, but still.
Like, I kind of appreciate how bizarre the whole Elvis bad guy thing is. Even like just a rock star bad guy, saying just the Japanese as well. But when they're equally garbage, because here's the thing: a really effective bad guy who doesn't take himself seriously is amazing, or doesn't take himself seriously, but is like what kind of wacky and doesn't do the Devimon "I am the Lord of Darkness" like boring old shtick. That's cool. But if they're both garbage, then the guy who's wacky is just a joke, and the guy who's taking himself seriously is at least trying. He sucks, but he's trying. What this show needs is a bad guy who's either, I guess the best example of what Edamon should have been is a handsome Jack kind of character, if you know who that is from
Yeah.
Borderlands. He's just wacky, like, hey, just come over here for a moment. Just let me rip out your throat. It's cool. Just come on. Just go with it. It's cool. And just like, he's just a dick, but he doesn't. He's not a. I will destroy the world, and I am the emo goth dark lord, which is what everyone's going with apparently with all the black straps and the devil hood. I wonder what his face looks like without the hood on.
Probably. I wonder if that's been drawn like the Gabumon without the coat.
I mean, I guess it's never addressed.
I mean, you
Maybe
can kind of guess.
face just is that fused on. Maybe that is his face, but it looks like a hood. Like you could take it off. Like like Angelmon, whatever it's called. You could probably take the helmet off and it would have a face. Wouldn't just rip the top half of his
Oh,
skull
I
off.
just googled Devimon without a face, and they turn him into this like Bishonen pretty boy. I'm just like,
Perfect.
no, he's like,
Perfect.
and they make him like all like hugging all these people and looking really like soft and loving and nice. I'm like, no, he's not nice.
Well, he is now. In your fan fiction, everything is canon.
There's some that aren't bad, but like, not a he's. I don't think he would be an attractive guy. They've got these. I don't know. Yes, some people want him as their partner and they're all cuddling him, but like, I don't think Devimon would be a cuddler.
Well, I guess if he was your digi partner, maybe.
Anyway, so we do have some messages. So we've got some nice things that Smile Wolfie on Twitter and that Jake said, just basically that they like our stuff and to keep it up, and I thought that was quite nice.
We
So
appreciate it, Smile Wolfie Jake. I think that's two different people.
yeah, it's two different people. Smile Wolfie on Twitter and then Jake on Facebook.
We appreciate that, everybody.
Yeah, it was really nice. It's nice to see nice little messages.
I think there was somebody who I replied to on Facebook
Yeah. That's who
specifically.
I'm talking about.
Right, yeah, it was good times.
Also, if you message our Facebook page at 1 in the morning, you'll definitely get Jay replying to you.
May is usually asleep by 5 p.m.
I like bed, and also I think it was like on a Monday morning, so also have work.
Yeah, I have
I'm not
work.
going to be up there.
I work from home, just writing up legal documents. It's good
Yeah.
time.
Anyway, so that's it, and we can go on to the show.
Wasn't there a letter we forgot? Oh no, wait. I address? I was really asleep. Did I address what my different partner would be if I would change?
I don't think you've actually answered. You just said, "Well, I don't like any of these Digimon."
Okay, right. Well, I don't is the first thing. Uh, yeah, you know what? I might stick by that. Like Devimon, at least he's unfair, and I appreciate that in a partner. Although I guess now I've learned from this episode that for a little while I have to have the stupid devil ball.
Devimon.
Like, I assume that Demi Devimon evolves into Devimon. That would make the most sense.
Yeah.
Although I was honestly prepared for you to say no, he doesn't.
Well, there are lots of different lines. Like on the original VPET, Agumon evolves into Devimon.
That would be the best twist of the whole show. If it's like instead of the Skull Greymon thing, right? They never cover that bad evolution thing, and then later on, and he gets the evolution honestly, right? And he does the whole courage thing, and then later in the show, say near the end of the season, he's in a situation where he goes, "Okay, we need you to evolve, so I'm gonna put myself in danger." And it will be courageous, like he's overthinking it, and he does it, and Darkumon turns into Devimon, and he just turns around like, "Haha, did you kids? I'm back."
And then black ears everywhere.
That would be the best twist. I'd forgive the whole show.
Speaking of partners, it's not up at the moment, but I will be adding another poll onto our page. So we'll have the what do you prefer, the English dub or the Japanese sub, and we'll also have one which is which child Digimon would you have as a partner. So we've got the seven main kids partners, but I'm also going to add Pico Devimon and I'm going to add Elecmon. So you can choose between them.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of our current poll, so far we have 19 votes. The English dub has 4 votes, and the original Japanese version has 15 votes.
That seems fairly indicative of how the show's been going. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's on lostintranslationmon.co.vu. And speaking of which, like about a podcast, we're also on Stitcher now as well as iTunes.
Which is the
So if you,
Android one, right?
no, it's on everything. It's on like it's just another way of listening to it. You can have it on any
Right.
device. Yeah, so you can give us a positive review on Stitcher or iTunes. That'd be pretty cool.
We would appreciate it.
Yeah, it'd be really good because if you give us a review, just take you don't have to write anything. You can just select how many stars. 5 would be nice. If that's okay.
However, if you're particularly nice and glowing, we'll probably read it on the show.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you write something, we'll read it out. Like that'd be cool. But if you don't have much time, you can just click 5 stars, and that'd be great because the more reviews we get, we'll hopefully be seen more, and that'd be pretty cool. So if you want to get in contact with us, we have an email, lostintranslationmon@gmail.com. We're on Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook. We have a discussion thread on With the Will, and of course you can find us on SoundCloud. I know what you're thinking, Jay.
What am I thinking?
You're gonna say, "Oh, I really don't like Digimon. They're just reusing the plot that they used when Devimon separated them. This is the exact same thing. They're all separated." Well, I'm gonna say that you're wrong.
Honestly, you're wrong because I wasn't thinking about that.
Well, you were now. Anyway, I'm gonna tell you why my guesstimation of what you were thinking is wrong.
Well, like
So,
okay, fine.
yeah,
Go ahead.
all right. So it's different because Devimon forcibly separated them. They didn't want to be separated because they wanted to be together to fight Devimon. But now they realize, I think, that they're only really together because they need to be. And we have to think that these kids basically don't have much in common. And the only prior friendships that were really mentioned were Sora and Taichi at soccer. And I think Koshiro and Taichi sort of had a senpai and Kohei, I think it is,
Go ahead.
relationship.
Yeah.
And then of course we have Yamato and Takeru, which were brothers. But besides that, I guess Mimi and Joe sort of might have had a friendship before then, but still they basically aren't that close. So they just separated voluntarily. That's why it's different
Well,
because
you're
they're not
wrong,
forced.
and not because you're wrong in two ways, honestly. First one is, yeah, you know what? I didn't care. Like, I was not saying it's a retread of the Devimon splitting them up thing, because, yeah, there's a distinction. Obviously, they did it voluntarily. Step one is that Tai was thrown out by accident, and then step two is, let's split off to either find Jedi or find Tai or do whatever
Find
missions
food.
we want. Although, I can't see it as because they weren't friends and they were going off on their own because of that because they've been together for a month and a half in this hostile foreign land. they must know intuitively that sticking together is a good idea, and the only reason they'd be splitting up is to search more efficiently. And that was the sense I always got from it,
Well,
since I had to watch it twice.
they think that there's no threat anymore. They think that it's safe, so they're gonna go off and find other things. Uh, Obviously, Kosher is like, I want to find out how to get home, so let's go find Jedi. In the Japanese version, Joe says, I want to find food so we can survive, even though they actually said a few episodes prior they don't actually need to eat.
No, they do need to eat.
I
Because
thought it was said
if
that
you
they don't
die,
need to.
no, they theorize they didn't need to eat because they're actually data, and then they're like, wait a minute, if we die here, we actually die.
Yeah, but I don't think they need to eat because they drop the food thing. Like for the first what 20 episodes, we have them saying, "Oh, I'm so hungry," but I don't think they care anymore. They stopped mentioning it.
But why would the Digimon need to eat to evolve if it didn't actually do anything?
Oh, yeah, good point. Maybe it's the food for the Digimon that matters.
Food does appear to be real in this, like real, you do need it. Um,
Yeah.
and it's a bit obviously it's a bit iffy because they're just digital. I think they were theorizing about it, and they made a joke, like, "Oh, I don't need to eat then," and then Mimi made that joke. Oh, but I've needed to go to the little girl's room for like 2 hours. But yeah, like I think they probably need to eat because it's just it's the theory landed on we may as well consider ourselves physical bodies here because everything affects us the same.
Mm.
Um, yeah, like if Joe's off to get food, then that implies that he's going to come back with food, right?
Yeah.
So at least from his perspective, they're going to come back. Sora's going to go get Ty to go bring him back. Um, and then the Genai one was to get more information, but I think that's for the group in general.
Why did Mimi leave to
I
find a shopping mall?
probably, uh,
I'm surprised they didn't add that
yeah, maybe.
into the episode in the Japanese. Unless they did and I just missed it.
I don't remember it either. But it really could have been there.
I think she did say something in this episode about how this is the worst camp out ever.
So here's the thing though, if they've been there for a month and a half, and because Ty was gone, what, 30 minutes?
Yeah, but he was really gone. Well, in the Japanese version, which is our first difference, they say that Ty's been gone a month.
Yeah.
I don't think they really say how long he's been in the English version, but
Well,
it's
in the Japanese one, it's a month and a half that he's been gone.
yeah.
And yeah, that's a long, long time considering how little time he was in the real world. Also, yeah, I was going to say the kids separating is really stupid. They say there's no threat, but that's just a lie. Because even if there's no bad guy out to get them, they've been attacked by rhinos and sea
Yeah,
dragons.
they've been just attacked by territorial Digimon, so that's still a very real threat. But I
So
guess they still have, even if they separate away from their friends, they still have their Digimon, and I think the most common level that appears to be just for normal Digimon, like not bad guys, not good guys, is adult. So I think that they are stronger than other adult Digimon because of their relationship, so they should be able to fight off adult Digimon.
just, I don't know. It's a classic Dungeons and Dragons mistake. You never separate the party.
Yeah,
You always
that's
go
because it'd be
together.
difficult to in D&D. You'll have to say, okay, you two go into that room.
No, it's not even
You
in a
three go
dungeon.
there.
It's I'm gonna go to this part of the city and go talk to somebody in the tavern. I'm gonna go over this place.
Yeah, but then people get bored.
It's not even about people getting, well, like, yeah, maybe people get bored, but that's not even the issue. The issue is that like someone gets jumped and no one's around to help them,
Mm,
and that is pretty much the storyline of the next couple episodes. Of
yeah,
you ended up somewhere terrible because no one was around to help you.
yeah. So yeah, they don't mention how long he's away in the English version, I think, but yeah, it's a month and a half.
Yeah, well, if they don't mention it, then you just take the Japanese one.
Yeah, definitely. So imagine how long they've actually been in the digital world for, like what, 6 months? I
Uh,
like to think it's
I
how
thought
many episodes we've had, like in weeks. Like each episode is a week.
Well, it did feel like every episode was a day, except some of them were 2 days because they slept.
Oh yeah.
The fact that sleeping was like a big deal that they would show you always felt like that meant that each episode's a day. And since there were what 20, how many episodes were there before? Home Away from Home or whatever it's called
It was
was
episode 21.
21, so that's 3 weeks, and that's about how long they would have been away.
Mm.
Because Tiger's what I've been away for a month. So yeah, I would say every episode's been about a day, and that pretty much confirmed it. Maybe there's an extra couple days stuck in there. Uh, but when he looks at the calendar, I think it pretty much confirms that that every episode's about a day. And now all of a sudden we're skipped more than the rest of the series combined in time ahead. They have been in
Mm,
the digital world more than twice as long as Tai has now.
yeah. So we should. What's going through their mind must be our friend is dead.
Well,
Like surely after about 2 weeks they go, our friend is dead. Our friend was sucked into a void, and he's just dead.
I actually can't believe that's never occurred to them. Like the way they talk about it, they haven't even imagined the possibility that he's dead.
But he super is like, well, he's not, but like that's the first place my brain would go. Like, oh, my friend's missing for 2 weeks. Last time I saw him, he was sucked into a void with some dinosaurs. I think he's probably dead.
So you should think.
I just don't think they want to think it. But if
I mean,
they're
I think that
seeming,
10 and the mortality hasn't occurred to them yet.
yeah, but I think that they might be, at least Sora, because she's quite smart, must be thinking, oh, yeah,
Sora is
Ty's
just
dead.
such a huge mystery in these two episodes.
Yeah, it's actually like Sora gets some character development, maybe.
No, she gets like anti-character development where she's doing stuff, but you're also like, how? And the show goes, the show just shrugs at you.
I don't know.
So okay, yeah, let's open the episode with everyone splits up.
Yeah.
Ty's in the desert, and it kind of flashes you to everyone splitting up. Then
No, no, he asked Tokamon what happened when he see after he
no,
sees Tok.
we're missing a section where it introduces the fact that all the Digivices track each other,
Yep.
which is a bit weird because why wouldn't they just beep all the time?
And why weren't they necessary in the Devimon episode? I think
Yeah,
that would have been maybe they did and we didn't see it because they did sure get to Tekuru quite quickly when they needed to.
no, they always asked, right? They always asked, "Have you seen where people landed?"
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure the show would have shown us them looking at Digivices, being like, "All right, here we go." This feels like one of those moments where they didn't think ahead, and they're like, "Wait, how does he find them again? Oh, look,
Wait,
he's got a Digivice. He can just track
wait.
all the other ones."
Why? Okay. So Sora was clearly near them, right?
Near whom?
Near Tai.
I mean, this is a bit later in the episode, but yes, she
No,
does
but
show up.
while we're on the topic of beeping Digivices, why didn't his Digivice beep when Sora was, probably a few meters away?
That's a very good question.
And I'm I can't remember how many times the Digivice does that, but maybe it's only when you get to perfect level. I mean, that could be wrong. Like
Well,
I
it
can't
has to
remember.
be wrong because they hadn't gotten to perfect level yet.
Tai has,
Oh, you mean only when your Digivice has?
yeah.
That
Like
would be really stupid.
you unlock that app on your Digivice
That
when
that seems terribly designed.
like, oh yeah, it's a pretty handy feature, but it only works if you get to perfect level. So good luck. Because it would explain why we haven't seen it before, but I can't remember
That would be
when we use it next.
that would be I guess that would be applicable, but it would also be really stupid. Also, from then on, every time you turn towards one of your friends, it would beep.
Yeah, but maybe it's only if you're looking for them, if you're not, know where they are.
I guess it's a piece of technology that also acts on a spiritual level, so who
Yeah,
knows?
it's also digital. Like everyone's digital. Maybe they just can tell digital brain.
Yes, tell digital brain. That's perfect.
So when we get this flashback from Tokomon, something I noticed is that Takeru and Yamato are standing on a bridge, and Takeru's all like, "But I want to find Taichi. Like we've got to find Taichi. We can't give up. We can't find Taichi." And Yamato gets jealous and yells at him because he, as we saw in episode 3, Garurumon, Yamato gets very jealous because he's worried that he's not a good big brother and that TK wants Tai as the big brother.
See, I did watch this show a little bit when I was a kid. Just a little bit. And I have vague impressions and slight memories of stuff that happened in the show. I don't remember any of this. Honestly, I don't remember anything I've seen. I remember I think I remember like the Metal Greymon evolution being in a desert. I think that's all I've got.
But everything's in a desert.
I know, which it doesn't say much, obviously. And the big deal is that I remember Matt being this whole like in leadership fights with Tai, but that's never happened. His whole conflict is that Tai is a better brother for TK.
I think it's because it's harder for kids to maybe understand that they've got that sort of I want to be a better big brother, but I can't because there's this guy who's just naturally a better brother, and I'm worried my brother likes him more. Like maybe we just think, oh, they're having a rivalry about leadership, and I guess maybe sometimes that does happen, but mostly it's just about TK.
Maybe my impression was just wrong
Well, in the
when I
in
was
the
watching.
English version, it's different because TK says, "Oh, we've got. I want to find everyone. We have to get back together," and Matt yells at him about that.
Yeah, Matt yells at his brother a lot,
Yeah,
which
but
you
that
make
makes that makes no sense. Why did he yell at him in the English version? Because it's fine to want to find your friends, but he didn't specify tie or anything.
like let's be honest. Let's be honest, Matt's a pretty terrible brother, all things considered. Of course, TK would want Ty's brother because he never yells at him, and he's always like got creative ways of going about it. Whereas
Like, let's
Matt's
force
solution
feed the
is yell
Digimon.
and then punch people.
Hey, Ty's thrown a few punches at Matt.
Yeah, it was always in self-defense.
Hmm.
I think. I'm just looking at that one fight, and he goes and he grabs him. It's like, okay, okay, we have to make a plan. And Matt's like, no, I'm gonna run into the cold. Let me die. And then he punches him.
So then Matt leaves him. Well, first of all,
He
they
takes a
find that
romantic swan boat.
yeah. No, first of all, we look at the theme park, and in the Japanese version, Yamato says, "Oh, this looks safe." So it's hinting, oh, he wants to leave TK somewhere safe so he can find Taichi and find help and find the others by himself, and TK will be safe. But in the English version, it almost seems like he's trying to ditch him because there's just silence and he's just staring off into space. And Tokamon says it's almost like he was thinking of something, like something else that was just taking his mind away. So I'm just like, that sort of seems like he's trying, like in English version, he's just trying to ditch his brother because he's a nuisance.
Yeah, I guess the impressions are slightly different because it's. I guess the impression I meant to get is that Matt's really, really bad at communicating because he is.
Yeah,
But yeah, he takes a romantic swan boat ride with Gabumon away, which is a terrible idea, right? You,
yeah, definitely.
all things considered, you really should take your brother with you because leaving him alone, this 10-year-old who cannot find food by himself.
With a baby Digimon.
Yeah,
Also, Matt's a 10-year-old,
yeah, but
or maybe he's 11.
he can cook, so which is an indication that he knows how to take care of himself. Because if you have one of those skills, you probably have more.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, it seems disgustingly irresponsible to be like, okay, baby brother, all right, here's the deal. I'm gonna just leave you here where anything could get you. And
with
I
a with a pink blob with teeth.
and I get that in most situations that we'd have a Digimon around to look after us. Like, okay, if Ty's getting in danger, he's got a dinosaur. Yes, but you have a pink blob with teeth.
Mm.
So yeah, he just, rides off into the distance, being the most responsible brother you could possibly imagine.
And so TK's waiting, and in the English version, it said that he was waiting for about a week, but in the Japanese version, no time is given. But I think that a week sounds fair enough considering, the next episode.
That's it. If it was a week, like I guess he would have to have gotten food for himself.
He
Unless,
probably would have been fed when he was in the kitchen. Oh, you mean TK?
yeah,
Yeah, I still stick by my food isn't relevant anymore theory.
only to Digimon then?
Yep.
I don't know why different rules would govern them.
I don't know, because maybe Digimon are, like,
And
they're meant to be there.
why would Joe need to go get food if he doesn't need food?
Maybe for the Digimon.
I guess. I don't know. It's not a good plan.
So then a little bat with wings comes all over. Ball with wings, not bat with wings. A bat already usually has wings. And it's he's actually voiced by Chihiro's voice actor from Danganronpa. That's something I found out on the internet.
It's also it's the same voice as the Eggmon from the next episode in English.
Is it?
Yeah.
Ah.
I'll get there, but I did some
Oh
research on
yeah,
this voice actor.
Derek Stephen Prince, I think his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good. He's nice friends you got there, Davis. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, he's in Digimon a lot. He's good. Good voice. When Tokomon says, "Oh, you're Picky Devimon," in the English version, he's like, "Yeah, I know you're not good," but in the Japanese version, just he's like, "Oh, I've never seen you before."
This is one of the few situations where the English is a lot better than the
Really?
Japanese. Yeah, because in the okay, here, let's put it this way, right? Here's your basic contention is you fought this man, this giant evil man thing called Devimon, right? And it was super evil, and it tried to kill all your friends. Its name was Devimon. You fought him for a week and a half, according to the average time of an episode. Then this small ball thing, it looks very similar it's got the black straps, it's got the weird hood thing over its face, it's got the wings. It flies down to you. Its name is Pico Devimon. You hear those words and you should instantly go like, "Get away from me!" Right?
Yeah.
You should just instantly say, "You're evil, we're done." Because in this world, evil is binary and you can just be an evil thing. Like you like Ogamon or like the poop, whatever. You just
Yeah.
be evil.
Oh no, Sukamon becomes a good poop.
Only because he touches the Digivice. Which actually, that would have been a good strategy. Touch Pico Devimon with the Digivice, see what happens.
Mm.
Didn't. Anyway, so the point being, you shouldn't have trusted it to begin with. And in Japanese, they just do. It just shows up and it's like, oh, good plan. Hello, new thing I've never seen before, despite it having the name of an evil thing. Let's go, right? But
Yeah.
in English, at least, uh, Devimon, they go, "You're evil. What are you doing here?" He goes, "Look, I worked for Edamon, and I hated him, and you killed him, and I'm really thankful." Which gives you like this basis of why you should trust him because he's giving you a story of why he owes you.
Yeah.
Which, like, at least I can understand why you still shouldn't, right? Because evil is still binary, but at least there's a reason. Whereas in Japanese, they're just stupid.
Yeah. See, I would have liked the plot twist if he's actually not evil. Tokemon's just judging a book by its cover, and then we get a nice moral of the story for a kid show, which is never judge someone because they look evil.
What was
And I
the
would have liked
what
that.
would the middle of the show been then? Because that takes 3 minutes.
Yeah, but they continually have that conflict, and then
I feel like
Taichi
that would have
comes
been
along and
extremely
doesn't.
boring.
I know, but I'm just saying it would have been interesting to meet someone who looks super evil but isn't.
I guess, but that's never happened.
I know, but it would be nice.
I guess but Maramon's probably what they did that enough times just in this weird reverse where all the Black Gear ones like Maramon like he looks really evil but turns out he's a good guy.
Yeah.
There's been enough of those, and I guess what then you'd have to have the small devil ball follow you around for the rest of the show because it's a good guy now.
Mm.
It's not though.
Yeah. 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 You have a point there.
It's just you shouldn't have trusted him. I don't know why they do. And then the rest, every single thing that happens further on from this because of them trusting him, I think is a huge waste of time because there's no reason it should have happened in the first place.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're right. But I just would have liked to, because it kind of reminds me of Piximon, and everyone thought Piximon was evil. So
You see, that's a situation I could have taken it where you're like, okay, they seem evil, then they turn out good because they got the black straps and everything, and you could have kind of got there. But if Piximon was called Small Etamon, right?
hmm.
You wouldn't trust it. You shouldn't trust it. Why
But
would you ever?
they never really make the link to you know him being like a Devimon. They never say, "Oh, that's like Devimon."
Yeah, and that's stupid. They should
See,
immediately.
as a kid, I always thought that Pico, like, well, I guess Demi Devimon in English was Devimon had gone to primary village and was now a child level. That's what I thought had happened
The
when I
impli
was a kid,
I
but it's
think the
never said
implication is
that.
that they're different.
Yeah, but I would have, I always thought that that's what happened.
Well, I
But
guess in English he only says he worked for Edamon. Maybe he didn't. Who knows? It's
yeah,
hard to tell.
it's not said in the Japanese version that he if he worked for Edamon or not.
Is it? Maybe because like, there's two ways to look at it, obviously, which is it could be the same one, and then it would have memories that would. Uh,
But would it? It's said that they don't have memories
oh,
of
okay.
when they get reborn, that unless they're with a partner, they don't get their memories back.
It's just because its whole storyline is lying to the kids. I'm like, if it knew the kids, it could lie to them more effectively. But
Yeah,
in every situation, the lies are very clear and spur of the moment. Like, have you seen my brother? And so he comes back and he's like, I met your brother, and that's the only information he brings. Then TK seems upset. So he goes, he doesn't want to see you because you're a crybaby. It's all very instant. The moment he gets the information, he uses that information to lie.
yeah,
So I guess it's not. It's probably a different one. It's hard to tell, but it's probably different.
yeah. But it would have been no. I mean, I just always interpreted that, and then now I'm rewatching. It's like I don't think it's ever actually said that he is still his like Devimon reincarnated.
Maybe you know what? Honestly, if it's even if he died and he came back, if they have no memory, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's
They're
basically a
effectively
new
different.
Digimon.
So yeah,
So
he just lies. He's basically yeah. So TK meets his devil ball, says, "Can you find my brother?" He flies off, flies back, and says, "Your brother hates you." That's
and would you want to go to court to
no.
Tokamon?
We'll get there. It's a whole
That's my
bit.
favorite part.
So he goes, "Your brother hates you." TK goes, "What? Why would he say that?" He goes, "He never wants to see you again. He hates you because you're a crybaby." And TK just is very upset about this. Uh, Tokamon, the little pink thing with teeth, takes Devil Ballmon aside, and he's like, "Look, I don't. Matt would never say that. You're a liar." And to which the Devil Ball replies, "You're calling me a liar? Would you can't if in I will take you to court because that's defamation." And I explained this to May last night, but uh, yes, perhaps if you called someone a liar, that'd be defamation. Though it's more like you have to do it in a public scene and hurt their actual public image. If you call them a liar to their face, it doesn't mean anything. But uh, he would never be able to use the the statement from Matt as evidence in court because that's hearsay. You can't bring outside statements into court. So you can't say that guy said this. Matt would have to come in and say it. So you'd call a witness. Uh, I know it's not a big deal, but this little devil ball doesn't understand the court system. And also, are there digicourts? I believe that there are. There was I was in Sydney once for a magic tournament with May, and in the morning they had Saturday morning cartoons, and there was a digicourt, who I believe it was Arnold Schwarzenegger was the judge.
I think it was Friday because it was on the weekend. It wasn't on the weekend. It was only weekdays. So I
Oh,
think it might have been Friday morning.
okay. Well, it was Friday morning then. But was that the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger was the judge, or was it Christopher Walken was the judge?
It was Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think it was Ice Devimon. I think.
Okay, yeah, that was Christopher Walken. That
Yeah,
was the good times. I'm honestly looking forward to those in a year.
more than that.
It's gonna be a long time.
That's season 6.
Oh wow, that's a very, very long time. Okay, well, I don't know what the math on that is, but you divide the number of episodes by two, and it's that many weeks.
Well, I think each series will take us about half a year.
Okay. Well, if they're all 54 episodes, then yes.
Yeah, they're all about 50 or so episodes.
All
So
right.
yeah.
So yeah, so he completely misunderstands the court system, but okay, he's evil. Maybe he's doing that intentionally, and Togemon can't defend himself because he's no lawyer. That's why lawyers exist. And
I want a lawyer Tokamon. I think that'd be pretty cute.
is there a lawyer mon?
No,
Is there a judge mon?
no, I don't think so.
Oh, that's boring. And so he's just lying to him, and then TK ta takes out some kind of frustration against Togemon because the show is badly written. Uh, it's not reasonable, and it stops being interesting because it's not reasonable. And then let's see what happens. Oh, Tai shows up.
Yeah.
Then that's the end of the flashback. Tai shows up, finds Togemon on the ground. Oh, and TK throws away his crest
Digivice.
and his Digivice, which is stupid. It's really stupid. You probably need
He
those.
has a tanty.
Ye-
When I was little and I had a tantrum, I would throw things
But would you
away that
throw
are
something
important.
that's really important to you?
Yeah, I almost threw away like one of my Digivices once. I put it on a table and walked away. I was having a tanty.
Uh. Anyway,
And anyway, so when Tai shows up, in the English version, what TK says, "Oh, my friend!" Not, "Oh, it's Tai." "Oh, my friend." Like, it's like he forgot his name.
you look familiar. No, it's oi you.
Also, another thing I noticed is the Digivice sound has changed in the English version. It's just this beeping.
Which one?
The Digivice sound. I'm gonna find a Digidestined sound.
I don't remember what it was exactly.
Well, it's not. It's like beep 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 beep. So when Ty runs up to TK, the first thing I noticed is suddenly Ty has two armbands. And I think it's an animation error because in the next shot he has one again.
Genius.
So TK says, "I want you to be my older brother," and Ty in the English version agrees, and he says, "Oh, for the time being, I will be your brother, but this is only until we find Matt." But in the Japanese version, Taichi's like, "No, I can't do that. How about we find Matt and we ask him what actually happened, so we can have a face-to-face conversation."
The most reasonable thing ever. Hey, tiny child, don't give up until you've actually seen it for yourself.
Which is fair enough.
Let's take a proactive step. And he's like, I didn't think about that ever. At no point did I think that maybe I should confirm this rather than just taking the Devil Ball's advice. The Devil Ball who I only met today, and it made me turn on my best friend, reading this Digimon, and also my brother, who I've known for years and years.
He sure does believe Pico Devimon easily.
Yes, it is. Like, you can make the excuse that he's 8, but also he's really stupid. Because he can be both.
So then Pico Devimon comes up and is all like, let's have mushrooms. You must be really hungry."
Uh,
And and then apparently they are hungry. So I guess I was wrong because I just remembered that their tummies rumbled.
there you go. Yeah, this whole episode, well, the primary conflict of this episode actually revolves around them being hungry.
Yeah. So then that they go and they're gonna cook them, and then Agumon's like, "Oh, I need to go to the toilet," or the little boy's room, as it's called in the English version. And then all of a sudden he hears a voice that says, "Don't eat those." So he's like, "Oh, okay." Then he runs up, and I think in the English version he says that sounds like Sora, but in the Japanese version it's just think he doesn't know if it's anyone.
Yeah, like I instantly identified the voice. I'm like, well, that's Sora.
Yeah.
I don't know why she wouldn't just step out of the bushes. She's being all sneaky. She doesn't have to be. It's just Agumon there.
Well, maybe you should watch other episodes after this, and then
Do I have to?
yeah, and we'll address that when we come to it.
Okay, if I gotta. Um,
So
yeah,
they keep on going through all these, sort of almost eating it, and then oh, we have to add spices, or oh, don't eat it, it's too hot. So then I guess that's kind
or
of funny, I
in
guess,
English they changed it slightly to I didn't cook that side entirely. I don't know why they felt they had to change it.
because I guess adding spices to things is what you do when you're Japanese.
Because the Americans can't handle spices.
Yeah, I'm like, what are they putting on this? What's a spice?
Is that what ketchup is?
I guess when you hear spice, like maybe some people think of something being spicy, as in like
Yeah,
hot.
where they mean seasoning.
Yeah, but spice can be like nutmeg or cinnamon.
Yeah.
You have your herbs and spices. You have your rosemary and stuff.
You got your Rosemary's Baby. Anyway, so he
So then,
convinced. Yeah, go
yeah.
ahead.
So Tokamon evolves because Tekadu's all like, so you were lying. Tokamon was being honest. I'm sorry, Tokamon. So then he's able to evolve into Patamon again. Finally, this is like the third time I think he's had an evolution. It's Tokamon to Patamon in the first episode, and then Patamon to Angemon in episode 11, and now Tokamon to Patamon again in episode 22. So he doesn't evolve much.
No, he does
Anyway,
not.
so then they have a fight, which is actually really violent.
Well, let's be honest. Uh, Devimon's attack, he yells a something something darts.
Oh, that's cut.
But what he. Oh, right, of course, because I don't remember seeing that in English. But
Yeah,
in
that's
the
totally
Japanese,
cut in English version.
because his actual attack are liquid nitrogen syringes.
Yep, and that wilts flowers, but that's definitely removed.
Well, it froze it and then they shattered.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I'm like, he's just shooting syringes.
But so what I noticed is the fight, besides the syringes in both versions, is rather violent because it's not cartoon flames and ice beams. It's actual like, I'm gonna bang your head against this ride and try and make you lose consciousness, or I'm gonna like pull your ears and swing you around.
Absolute genius.
Like it's actually really violent.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, Patamon is complete garbage at fighting.
That's because Patamon is.
Complete garbage.
Like I think he might be more useful as Tokamon because at least he has those teeth.
No, but he can't boom baboo.
You know, he can bubble still.
Boom, baby.
Boom, bubble. I love Patamon.
It always has the.
And it always, like, blows himself away. Like, there's always that recoil.
Well, that's what the second or third law of physics.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Equal and opposite reactions, etc.
Yeah, so the Pico Devimon loses, and then we see him apologizing to the silhouette. So maybe we have a new bad guy.
And I looked at it, and I'm like, is this? It's either Vampmon or Draculamon. I'm pretty sure. I learned I'm wrong in the English version of the next episode, but still, that was my guess.
The Japanese name is different, so don't worry.
Is it?
Yeah, but we don't know
Oh.
his name in the Japanese version until episode like few episodes from now, like
Hey,
26, I
spoilers.
think. I'm not going to say the name. You can
Okay.
react to the name when we see his name.
Okay.
In the original, it says that they're going off to search for the rest of their friends. But what happened to Sora and stuff like that? In the English version, doesn't take a mushroom of forgetfulness to sometimes forget who our real friends are.
Oh, it was really
It's like
garbage.
moral of the story after school special.
It was pretty bad.
Yes. What did you think of this episode as someone who's new to Digimon?
I said it at the beginning, but its premise is really weak, which is that was really stupid to trust this devil ball when it tried to lie to you. And from then on, it's really wasting your time because you shouldn't have trusted it to begin with.
Yeah.
And everything flows out of that. Every single thing comes out of the fact that you trusted it and you shouldn't have.
Well, a lot of the episodes are, why did you trust this thing? You're an idiot. Like the mansion, the Bakemon, like the weird looking people.
Yeah, but a lot of them are reasonable. Like you've never seen the Bakemon. The people look like people. You could see how
The Pugumon,
you've never seen those before either. But yeah,
they look evil.
you could make the argument. Well, so does Meramon. Like we've established that looking evil doesn't make you evil, right? But
Pugumon were evil.
yeah, we know that. But look at his name has Devimon in it. You've established that he's evil. And at least have a grain of at least have some distrust. Maybe you don't have to like instantly fight him, but at least try to imagine that he's, not instantly trustworthy. Because I mean, look how it turned out badly.
So what changes and differences did you notice?
I mean, obviously they took the violent parts of the fight out of it.
Well, the darts.
Yeah, the syringes. A big deal was that the English actually did a really good job of I mean, not the best job. You still should instantly distrust it, but at least justifying why you might trust him at all, because he had a story that was vaguely believable. Whereas, I mean, in the Japanese, it's inexcusable. He was just an idiot.
Yeah. Like, and we also have Ty's fantastic French accent.
That was a good time.
That was just beautiful. And the next episode we have
the food, je suis n'est pas.
Yeah, and the next episode we have him speaking German.
Oh, do we? I forgot entirely.
Yeah, he says "Auf Wiedersehen" at the end for no reason.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
So, did you prefer this episode in English or Japanese?
I hated this episode. Can I not talk about it anymore? It was a huge waste of time.
So at the start we have Yamato, and he's saying, "Oh, we must have been blown off course by the wind." But I think in the English version, just like, "Oh, we got lost down our own selves."
Yeah, he's pretty garbage.
And then we see some Digimon, and they go, "Oh, let's follow those Digimon."
Okay,
and
let's be honest. Those Digimon should not be together.
What, Monzaemon, Kokatorimon, and who was the other one? Oh, Frigimon's good.
So is Monzaemon.
Oh yeah, but Kokotorimon's not.
Guys and Kokatorimon.
Yeah,
what are
I
they
forgot
doing
that.
together?
But I thought we established that Monzaemon's still evil because his eyes were closed.
No, if his eyes are open, he's evil.
Oh yeah, that's right.
If his eyes are closed, he's a good guy. But that said, when he comes to help them build the boat to get to to get the server, then he's a good guy.
Yeah. But we definitely should not trust Kokatorimon.
Yeah, I don't know why. What's going on there? Because again, it's been established that all Digimon are binary evil or good. Like depending on their species.
There's data vaccine virus.
No. What I mean is, you see a Leomon and you go, Leomon's a good guy, because all Leomons are good guys, right? You see a Meramon, you go, all Meramons are good guys. You see a Kokotorimon, your reaction should be they're all evil.
Meramon's not not necessarily always a good guy.
Well, thus far it has been established that the one we've seen has been good, and every time we see a kind of Digimon, it always generalizes good or evil on them, right?
Yeah, well, I think that it goes vaccine is always good and virus is pretty much always bad. And then we have data, which is basically like it can go either way. Like it's, not here nor there.
It's entirely possible,
Yeah.
but at the same time, like this grouping should not be together.
Meramon is data. So that would make sense to my theory.
I guess. What about the bears?
Monzemon, oh, I think he might be vaccine.
Well then, yeah,
May-
it shouldn't. And I imagine Kokotorimon is a virus. You'd think.
Yeah, I'll check. He's data, so he can also go either way.
Oh, okay, well,
I
maybe.
think we might see a good one. Yeah, I think we've seen good ones.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I don't know.
I think that they can go either way. So that's sort of my theory. Like virus is most often than not evil, and then good is most often than not. Vaccine is most often than not good, and then we have data, which is just like can sort of go anyway there.
It's just weird to see them. What we've seen the rest of the show is all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Well, they're probably different ones because they're on server
Yeah,
and
they're different individuals, but thus far, every time we see Digimon, they really put them into a box of good or evil.
yeah,
Also, I forgot, and I should mention it. I only just realized. Actually, I realized it in episode 22. But why is Devimon still in the intro?
because they don't want to, make a different intro every arc and for every villain, so that they do have two intros and they do change it in the second half.
I guess it just feels really weird that he's long dead and he's still showing up as like the mysterious bad guy.
They're also on File Island and they're also Black Ears.
Yeah, I mean, Fire Island's fine because it's just a landmass. Landmass doesn't need to really change, but it's really weird that like the individual is there.
Mm,
Uh, yeah, the bear Digimon and the chicken bird was really weird. Um,
yeah.
then was it? I think Joe. How did?
Gomon comes out and because he has to find like customers, and then that's how they meet them because they're on the way to the restaurant.
Yeah. Does the Devil Ball show up like at this
Yeah,
point or just later?
yeah, not at the moment.
So I've got a note which is so everyone fell for the Devil Ball's lies, but I can't remember what exactly that had to do with anything.
Yeah, that does happen.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we see a new Digimon, Vegimon, and we again have silly Romaji English next to the name,
Doesn't
and
he have a
it's
terrible Japanese name?
no, it's Vegimon in both versions, or Vagimon if you believe the Romaji. So it's the same sort of thing as Picklemon.
Amazing.
So then when we see Joe, he mentions that he originally went off to search for food, but in the English version, he just says straight away, "Oh yeah, we just went our separate ways so we could cover more ground and look for Tai or something like that." And then he tells about how he met Devimon and that he saw a bunch of humans, and I think he says that in both versions. So once again, it's a reoccurring theme of Joe really wanting to find humans, even if they're not his friends. He just wants to find other humans here.
Yeah, which I mean has not worked out thus far.
Yeah, so I
And
don't know why he would believe him.
yeah, it's not
And
exactly
Joe's the mistrusting one, but I guess whenever it comes to finding humans, he suddenly puts his, how anxious he is about, everything and not trusting things to, we've got to find humans.
every time.
Yeah, so he says that he was stuck at the restaurant because when he went to pay for his meal, he was told that he has to pay in US dollars. Did I say US? Yeah, US dollars.
So
But in the
in
Japanese version, he has Japanese yen. But these are DigiDollars.
in the US in the English one, he has to pay in DigiDollars.
And how did he get these DigiDollars? Where did they come from? How come we've never seen DigiDollars before?
I appreciate that you've got all of my criticisms of DigiDollars, like so I don't have to do it this time.
Yeah, well, it's quite a big translation change. Like usually the translation changes aren't that bad, but this one's just like DigiDollars. Like it would have made sense.
It would have. It's and like when would they've ever had an opportunity to use any currency? This
Yeah,
is
it
the
would make
first
sense.
time.
It would make sense for him to have yen
And also, why is US currency the basic currency in the digital world?
because what's the main currency when you buy things online?
Well, if this show takes place in Japan and they're in the digital world of Japan, you'd imagine actually yen.
They're just on the digital world in general. I don't think there's like a special area where you spend money. Like,
I get that, but who prints this money? Like, where do they get it? Do they go to jobs? Are they
I think
I
it's the
mean,
same
obviously
for,
there are some jobs. He
you
runs
know
a
how
restaurant.
trolley cars and like random stuff arrives? Maybe money also arrives randomly.
Maybe?
But in games, they do have a currency and it's called bits, I think,
Ah, delicious
as in,
bits.
bytes.
Like Timbits. I'm not Canadian.
And so in the original, he says that he only has to work for 2 weeks because of how many like mistakes he made, and it was originally 3 days.
It doesn't make
But
any
in the
sense.
dub,
If it's like one meal he needs to pay for, wouldn't he need to work for like an hour?
well, he said, well, we did see a big table full of dishes, so maybe he ate a lot. So originally
Okay,
it
let's
was
say
three
he had to
days. It
work.
might have been a really expensive meal,
Even
but
then, it'd be a day.
in the English version, he just says that it was 6 weeks instead of 2 weeks, which is like that's a long time.
Well, like we can do an easy calculation on that, right? If he's being paid a terrible minimum wage of $7 an hour, and the guy who paid for a meal before him spent $10 on that meal, and assuming he got no change, right? Then we know that the average meal is $10. If he ate the equivalent, he's got him and Gomamon, they ate the equivalent of 2 meals each. He needs to make $40 to $50. He needs to work for less than 10 hours.
Yeah.
In fact, he probably needs to work for 8 hours. He needs to work for a full work day. So the first strike on him should be a day. I mean, that's a really basic calculation that
I
doesn't
think it's overpriced, and also Digitamamon wants free work.
like it can't be overpriced because we saw what the guy before him paid.
Yeah, but he wants free work.
Obviously, yeah. But now we get into the question of why does Joe do it? Who is enforcing this? What's he gonna do? Call the Digi Police?
I think Digitamamon's enforcing it, and he doesn't want to get beaten up by an egg.
True, but it's never really covered. And the reason they all went off alone was because they assumed, obviously, they could take any threat that was coming at them.
Mm.
And so you'd think he'd have the confidence to be like, well, I'm sorry, I have to leave now. But obviously, that has been a complete failure. And if it's the question of confidence of the character, when Matt shows up, that should be solved. It's not, but it should be.
Yeah.
Basically, this is another situation which is fairly nonsensical. And when you take a nonsensical premise, the rest of the episode falls apart.
Yeah, so then Matt says, oh, I'm going to find TK and then I'll come back and help you. And then so on his way out, since Digitamamon is meeting with Demi Devimon and Demi Devimon has all this money and sort of says, make him stay.
Keep them
So,
here forever.
yeah.
That's a long term goal that will always work, and there's not a chance that could have failed.
Yeah. So in the English version, he's saying, "I checked the work schedule, and it's your time to work." But in the original, he's just saying, "You have to work." He just doesn't give a reason. He just, "You have to work."
I thought it was if you work then your friend can work less. Like it'll be quicker.
Yeah. But it's not, oh, you're on the work schedule now.
Get in here. You were hired against your will.
Yeah. Congratulations, you have a job. Who said the job market was hard?
No, you have a job, but we're not gonna pay you.
Yeah. Internship.
Every time he drops a plate, they add a week.
Yeah. So then Ty and TK come along, and then
No, well,
they see. Yep.
there's a big montage of Joe being god awful at his
Oh
job.
yeah. Yeah,
Just
that does happen.
constantly dropping stuff all the time, and then the Devil Ball approaches Matt and gives him this story that Joe is dropping stuff on purpose to mess with him, essentially. And because he has the word Devimon in his name, obviously Matt instantly trusts him.
Yeah, well, I guess I don't. People aren't going to judge a book by its cover. Maybe they're being nice people.
Yeah, they really shouldn't. They should really have a little bit more distrust considering all the
Yeah,
experiences they've had.
that would make sense.
They engender no sympathy from me for all the mistakes they are making.
But yeah, so then TK and Ty go outside, and then Matt's in the English version says, "Where's Ty?" And I'm like, according to you, wouldn't Ty still be wherever he was before? Like Matt doesn't know that Ty's back until he sees Ty, obviously.
Yeah, pretty much.
But he straight away says, "Where's Ty?"
Oh,
So then they have a big fight. Well, Joe and Matt have a sort of fight because Matt says, "Oh yeah, she's trying to get me to stay longer. He keeps on making all these mistakes," which actually doesn't make sense. Like, why would Joe do that?
it's not reasonable. And just with all unreasonable claims the Devil Ball makes, everyone instantly believes it.
Yeah. I mean, wouldn't you trust him?
Oh, instantly, obviously.
I mean, he's so cute.
It's not. It's just a baseball with wings.
Yeah, he's really cute. You gotta trust him. So then they have like Yamato has a comment that Joe's only going to drag them down, and then how Taichi's dragging everyone around just because it suits him, and that the only people who should be together are him and Tekeru. But then in the English version,
Because that worked out. He
yeah,
really treated it well.
yeah, in the English version, it's just Matt saying that Joe only cares of himself and is selfish, and is just doing this all on purpose, and that Ty is the only responsible one because it separated them. So I'm just like, oh, that's kind of mean.
Yeah, it's Matt being a horrible, unreasonable person, and everyone watching just goes,
Yeah,
That's my
well,
reaction anyway. Just,
that's your reaction to everything.
No, sometimes I have like positive reactions.
To Street Fighter
Yeah.
when it
Not
works.
right now though. God, servers are super dead.
So then when Digitamon comes out in the Japanese version, like he straight away says, "Oh yeah, you've already paid off your debts. You're just excellent workers." And I'm just like, wow, that's not very nice. But at least he admits it. But I think in the English version, he just makes some pun about how he's hard boiled or something, or a bad egg. I can't remember. It's just some silly pun.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So then Gabumon digivolves, and I use the term digivolve because I'm talking about how in the English dub, he announces his attack as Blue Blaster, which is Gabumon's attack. His attack's called like Howling Blaster, I think, but it's definitely not Blue Blaster.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
Yeah.
Although, I like how Digitamamon's attack is close egg and try to headbutt.
And also, suck people into void, then, explode them out.
And that's the much more effective part of his attack.
Yeah, it's a better attack.
Yeah, I appreciated how lame the, headbutt was, though.
And then he realized, like, Joe's trying to protect TK, and then he realizes that he was mean to Joe, and he shouldn't have yelled. And then he needs all his friends, and then his crest glows, and now we have some more strange trying to sync up the words because it's very awkward. Like, we can't just give up instead of no, that's not true. And it's that sort of, once again, they're trying to fit words that they want into the mouths, and it's coming across as a bit awkward.
Yeah, it's pretty garbage. Like, the whole fight, I'm just sitting there like, can it just be over now? It's gonna evolve, and because it's in the name of the episode, they're gonna win the fight, and then whatever, then they're gonna move on. Just, the name of the episode tells you this is what's going to happen. Success is inevitable.
Yeah, basically. Well, that happens in a lot of episodes, though.
I know.
Well,
It's the death of drama.
they're gonna win because they're the good guys.
I know, but like still there's got to be a third act where bad stuff actually happens to them. But this show never has a third. At least the Edamon one had like Sora being kidnapped, kind of.
Yeah.
But they never have a third act where like everything is all hope is lost and they have to struggle to overcome. It's like we learned how to win. We show up and we win.
Also, they're 20-minute episodes.
Yeah, but you don't need. I'm not saying per episode. I mean for the season. And
Yeah.
all that happens is they just go on and they steamroll everything in their path. If they can't instantly steamroll it, like the big bad guys, pretty much every time they're first introduced, then they take a couple episodes and then they steamroll them right after that.
Yeah. Well, I think the episodes do get better in the way that they're written.
Maybe.
Garurumon evolves, and during the evolution, he just randomly says, "The crest of friendship."
Yeah, that was pretty weird.
Like, Matt, why are you doing this? Like, how do you know the crest's name?
Also, I like how this particular evolution is just Garurumon becoming a Kingdom Hearts character.
Oh yeah, I guess belts are strapped to him and stuff.
He just gets tons of belts and like brass knuckles and pants, and that's an
Also,
evolution.
I think that the dub uses the word ultimate level for the first time, and we meet
Also,
the song "Hey Digimon."
it's technically a super evolution in the Japanese.
Yeah,
It's its own thing.
it's a Choshinka.
Also, I don't maybe maybe it's intended or maybe it's the animation going really weird, but when he's mega evolved or whatever it is, the Digivice is vibrating the whole time.
Yeah,
Why?
because it's all this power coming through it.
It seems like that would be really uncomfortable.
Yeah, yeah, it's super vibrating the whole time. So we meet the
Also,
song "Hey Digimon." Hey Digimon.
hey, Digimon. Uh, It
What do you think
occurs
of our new song?
that's certainly a song.
Yep, sure is a song.
It occurs to me that every time one of the kids' Digimon is evolved to the next level, it's right after their kid's been really garbage at what their crest says they should be.
Yeah,
Like the Hope one was come up only came after. I guess the Hope one's a bit of a weird example because it wasn't a Mega Evolution,
what Hopemon? Oh yeah, Togemon, right?
but
Yeah,
yeah, Togemon only evolved after he got his he after he completely gave up all hope and threw all this shit away.
yeah,
And Gurumon only evolved after Matt, it's like, oh, screw you, I'm done, and tries to walk away from the friendship. It's like,
yeah. It's called having a revelation. It's like, oh, I was not very nice here, but I should realize that friendship is important.
I know, just, I don't know, it, it doesn't feel like within them is this incredible power of friendship. It sounds like you were really garbage at friendship and now you're back to normal. Good job. Pat you on the head for being normal and you can evolve now.
Also, I think we get lots of puns in the English version. I didn't write them all down, but like I'm pretty sure they'd be like, "Oh, you're a bad egg, you're rotten, you're hard boiled." Those kind of.
I wrote puns, not tragedies.
Oh my god. Okay, I was gonna put the episode title being the crest of spoilers because of the crest of friendship being called out, but I think I write puns, not tragedies is a lot better. All right, there we go. I write puns, not tragedies. It's
Yeah.
it's it's now a thing.
So they win the fight because you obviously always win the fight when you evolve.
Yeah, if you win the fight if Hey Digimon plays.
Yep. Then they have their big friendship talk and there's a lot of blushing. There's so much blushing.
Yeah, Matt blushes all the time.
But everyone's blushing and like you can see where all the fan fiction comes from. As they kind of like, oh, the war.
So TK is telling Matt that thank you for saving me in the English version, but in the Japanese version, he's saying to Joe that the person who actually saved him. Oh, thanks for saving me, Joe. And then Ty's like, yeah. Well, Taichi says, oh, that's unusually heroic.
What do you mean unusually?
And then we see Demi Devimon talking to the silhouette again, but in the English version, we find out that his name is Myotismon.
I'm really upset he's not Draculamon or
Yeah, well,
Blood or
his name
Bloodmon.
his name is not Draculamon in any version, I think, unless and I mean, there might be another version where he's called Draculamon, but I know his Japanese name and his English name.
So here comes our third big bad guy. I'm hoping that his voice is David Bowie. That would be awesome.
That'd
And
be cool.
then
That'd be
the
cool.
the bat ball gets eaten by smaller bats. I assume that he doesn't die. It's probably just a little nibbling, little bat nibbles. And then you see Ty and Matt prepare to split up again because they both have detections on their digivices of.
Yeah, for opposite directions.
But I mean, important question. Why would they ever think that splitting up's a good idea when it worked out so well to begin with?
Because this time they plan to re-meet at the bottom of the mountain.
Yeah, that's pretty slim.
And
What if
see, again, we see
what
Matt had an evolution, and now his Digivice has the new app.
maybe just Joe's not Beep?
No, and TK's doesn't either.
Maybe that.
It's Matt's Digivice and Ty's Digivice.
Here's a question. What if Matt gets like recruited into like an evil hotel on the way? He'll never meet him at the mountain.
Good point.
Or what if Ty is like put into like a tyrannical like coal mine?
A tyrannical.
Yes, exactly. Taichi Ranical.
Well, they'll meet again because they're friends.
They'll meet again because it's going to be one of the episode titles.
They'll meet again because it's in the script.
The meeting of Tai, Joe, TK, and the rest of the friends in
Also,
We Already Won the Fight.
also when their faces scroll across, they're kind of saying sort of relevant stuff, but in the English version, just making a joke about how Joe's useless.
Yeah.
And Ty says, "Oh, you're ruining our dramatic exit." Like, wow, okay.
Oh, I forgot to mention this is really late, but there's a bit way earlier in the English version where Gomamon says that he makes a mean PB and J, which
And Gabumon knows how to boil water.
yeah, but that's fine. Why does Gomamon know what peanut butter is?
Digi peanut butter
How could that possibly exist?
from Digi peanuts?
Okay, first of all, are there Digipeanuts? And B, how do they have the equipment to make them into peanut butter? because
Step on them.
he's like an otter who lives in the water.
Good. He uses his fishes to
Are there
pummel
any,
them.
are there bakers who make digi bread?
Yeah.
I guess
Oh,
we've
oh
seen
yeah. There's
bread.
Bergamon. There's Bergamon.
Is there what? What's that?
Bergamon. Oh, hang on.
Do I have to?
Yeah. It's really important that you see what Bergamon looks like.
Okay. Well, I'll see what Bergamon looks like now. I was ready to boo. I was really ready to say how terrible this Digimon is, but it's actually quite cute with its stupid burger hat and what appears to be like pork rolls. Not even burgers. It's just a food Digimon.
Yeah. He's really cute.
It has this little bird thing. Is the bird part of it that follows it around?
Yeah. It's Torikara Ballmon.
And there's another Bergamon, which is the champion version, where there's two of them.
It looks like an onion.
And and they both look like onions because there's two of them, and also has a hot dog.
Yeah, Frankfurt sausage.
Perfect. All right. Its special attacks are spicy onion and delicious patty.
Delicious. And or delicious patty and green pickles is for the child level. That's
Green
adorable.
pickle.
Oh yeah, Torikara Ballmon evolves into Bergamon.
I don't care.
Are you gonna have? Is Bergamon your partner?
No, I would
Are you
eat
gonna have
it. It would
Bergamon?
die.
No. Oh, that. But he's so cute. What did you think of this episode as someone who was new to Digimon?
Um, this episode, like, I don't know, indentured servitude isn't all that interesting actually to watch, especially when it's in a world where you could just walk away and no one could find you. You don't have a home address for them to send, like, legal papers to. In fact, both of these episodes have weird legal questions in them,
Mm.
and I don't know why any of the kids think about them at all. Joe should just be like, well, you know what, this is dumb. I'm out of here.
Yeah, but he's honest. Like he doesn't want to dine and dash.
I guess, but like, there's there's this principle. It stops at like book 6, but for the first like 6 books of the Wheel of Time, if anyone even seems vaguely evil, they're probably really evil,
Yeah.
right? And because Vegemon isn't nice, your first instinct should be he's probably really evil because every good Digimon is really nice. Every single one of them.
Unless have a black gear.
Yes, but that's made you evil,
Mm.
right? So if you are nice, you are a good Digimon every time, every single time. And even the only one time that's not the case is when they're being awful liars. So which means they're pretending to be nice, which so you wouldn't be able to figure it out instantly. There's never been a good Digimon that's like kind of mean.
Piximon.
No, not really.
No, he made them scrub floors. They didn't like him.
No,
He was a
he
bit
said, "I'm
self-centered.
going to train you. This is my training regimen. I'm
Yeah,
here to
but
help you," is what he said.
they didn't really like him. He was a bit, self-absorbed.
Sure, but he wasn't mean. He was like yeah, I don't know how to describe him exactly, but he wasn't a dick. Whereas
He was annoying.
Vegemite, yeah, it's annoying, I guess, and a bit nuts, but they could have just walked away. He was offering them something that they wanted, whereas in this case, Vegemon just like, oh, this is disgusting. I can't serve this to my customers, and throws a dish across the room. Uh, and just is generally an asshole, which is the biggest sign of look how evil I am. I probably work with the bad guys. Indentured servitude is how I get things done.
So,
My
what
boss is
differences
an
did you
egg.
what differences did you notice
I need to actually refer to my notes here.
besides DigiDollars?
Oh,
Because
we
we've already been
completely
into that.
forgot the villain, being the Eggmon. Uh, in the English, he's voiced in an imitation of Peter Lorre.
Yep.
He's like, you work in my restaurant.
Hmm.
I spent actually like 20 minutes confirming that like that was the voice he was doing.
Hmm.
I researched it too much, which is why I had any kind of discussion of a voice actor in the last episode. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought as far as differences go, I think that was the biggest one I noticed. Was
Hmm.
just like, oh look, it's Peter Lorre. I can't take this villain seriously because he sounds like a cartoon. And I mean, it is a cartoon, but you know what I mean, probably.
Yeah. So, did you prefer this episode in English?
No, no, I did not.
Is that
Because,
always going to be the answer to that question?
no, I think the last one I preferred slightly in English.
Yeah, yeah, you did say that.
Very, very rarely do I prefer them in English. Um, Often that's just because I can't tell if the Japanese voice actors are being really corny, but I can always tell that the English ones are, and the English
Mm.
ones make all these puns that are terrible. So it's also, let's be honest, I watched the Japanese ones first, which means it's a fresh experience, whereas the English one, I've already seen it, so it's a struggle every
Hmm.
time.
Yeah.
So it hurts. It hurts the experience.
So, what episode did you prefer?
All things considered, at least the second one kind of made sense. Like it was dumb, but it made sense a little bit. So I went with that. Let's see. Yeah, I just like Joe's indentured servitude made a lot more sense than TK instantly believing horrible, horrible lies.
Mm. Out of the Digimon that were introduced into this episode, Pico Devimon, Vegemon, Digitamamon, and Wagarurumon, what did you think?
I'm gonna have to go through those slowly. Can you go? What's the first one?
First one is Pico Devimon.
It's a little devil ball. No one should have trusted it, and I think its design is fine. It's just a baby version of a guy whose design I think is okay. Um, but like its use in the show as like this thing that everyone instantly believes is ridiculous. It's
Mm.
just ridiculous.
Yeah, and what about Vegemon?
It's really ugly, and I hate it. Like it, I guess it's just a nothing. It's one of those really weird mishmashes of features that goes nowhere.
I thought it was like one of those, those carnivorous plants.
I guess you could see it that way.
So in the version 2 of the VPET, Vegemon throws poo. That's his attack.
Good times.
Because he's the version 2, because there was always the bad adult level in the VPETs. So there was like Numamon, then there was Vegemon. So he was one of those poo flinging, bad adult champions that you could get. So what about Digitamamon?
It's an egg. Did you know that it's an egg? Because that's all there is about it. It's an egg. Sometimes it's an egg, but
His name
most,
didn't change. He
yeah,
didn't change to Digi-Eggmon.
I'm a bit weirded out by that, honestly.
Well, sometimes they'd change the name for no reason, like Datamon and Nanomon.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's one of the ones that you really should have changed.
Yeah, but Digi-Eggmon maybe wouldn't be a good name. I don't know. Digitamon sounds fine because at least you can still say it's Digit Armamon, like Digit.
No, I don't think that's how they pronounce it though.
Yeah. So what about Wagarurumon?
It's just a Kingdom Hearts character.
It's cool though.
It's super weird.
I like him.
I don't know. I think it's lazy. But I hate the Digimon evolution trope of strap stuff to it. Now it's evolved. All right, everybody. Next time on Free Eternal Summer, we watch Breakthrough Atler Kabuterimon,
Or no questions, please.
and also The Sleeping Tyrant Tono Samakekomon.
Tonosama Gekomon.
No, leave it as how I said it.
Or Princess Karaoke.
That's a better name.
So we're actually going to start doing show notes, which are sort of like things we discussed, like links to things that we discussed. Like last time we discussed Homestuck, so I linked Homestuck. So this will always be found at lostintranslationmon.co.vu/post/ep and then the number. So this time it will be lostintranslationmon.co.vu/post/ep12. So yeah, if you can give us a review on iTunes and/or Stitcher, that'd be pretty cool. And we'll see you next week. Bye bye.
See you, everybody.